also not knowing that they even have this, right? Which is one of the concerns.
Well, yes. But I think that the big issue here is this issue of work culture. So we're telling everybody, listen, if you can stay home, if you don't feel well, just stay home and don't go to work. But there are a lot of people that don't have a choice if they get to go to work or not because they're not going to have a paycheck.
This is the only country that's ever saying moms or dads whose kids get sick and they can't, they have no family leave whatsoever.
That's more like it.
Right.
Sort of, I think one of the big underlying issues we're going to face in the election.
Right. No, I agree with you completely. And it's this issue of, are you going to go to work if you're sick, if you can't put food on your table, if you can't pay your rent, if you're not going to be able to take care of your children, yourself, your elderly parent? I mean, it's not fair just to be able to say, well, everybody should just do better and help citizens and stay home. We need everybody to do better, and that means also supporting businesses that have good family, pro-family policies, and making sure that people who are business owners are mindful of this, also in allowing people during this time period in particular, if people don't feel well, it's actually in their best interest to let them stay home and to encourage people to stay home.
means Monday is Casual Monday, Tuesday, Casual Tuesday, Wednesday, Casual Hump Day, Thursday, Casual Thurs, that's what we call it, and Friday, Casual Shabbat. The Majority Report with Sam Cedar.
It is Friday, February 28th, 2020. My name is Sam Cedar. This is the 5-time award-winning Majority Report. We are broadcasting live steps from the industrially ravaged Gowanus Canal in the heartland of America, downtown Brooklyn, USA. We are jam-packed today, ladies and gentlemen, even though it's a casual Friday. Joining us in studio, Brandon Sutton of The Discourse, also known as Pretty Bad Lefty on Twitter. Then we will get a brief phone call from Dave Weigel, the Washington Post/CIA, who will be giving us an update on what's going on in South Carolina. As you know, there's a primary there tomorrow. And then joining us in studio from the Reply Guys, or other things, her career, Kay Willett will be with us. Meanwhile, the Mad King insists coronavirus is a deep state ploy. And our total lack of preparedness is all in your head. And speaking of which, a Health and Human Services whistleblower says that it was HHS workers who may be the cause of some of the coronavirus outbreak in this country. Whoops. And on the eve of the South Carolina primary, the day's eve of the South Carolina primary, Joe Biden up by near double digits, apparently. Meanwhile, Super Tuesday, just a couple of days away, polls show Bernie up in Massachusetts, of all places, and with a 2-1 lead in California. Meanwhile, Warren supporting Super PAC makes a $9 million Super Tuesday buy. And one of the DNC super delegates promoting a brokered convention turns out to be a big Republican donor because of his lobbying business. The SEIU has committed now $150 million to mobilizing low-propensity voters in the general election. Turkey is getting pulverized in Syria. It's now opened its border and is sending Syrian refugees, to Europe. Meanwhile, Erdogan is slamming India for Muslim massacres there. Idaho bans trans people from correcting their gender on their birth certificates, which I imagine was a huge problem in Idaho. Must have been very difficult for people there to deal with that. And the new IRS taxpayer advocate is a 20-year veteran of a corporate accounting firm, using some of that great experience in helping taxpayers to help taxpayers. All this and more on today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I should say that the last taxpayer advocate was basically a person who worked with legal aid, had a background there, and started the first low-income taxpayer clinic of its kind in the U.S. And this is sort of to balance that out, where KMPG is almost like a clinic, but for super high-income people and corporations, and therefore that person is better suited to help tax-paying clients.
It's important to respect everyone's lived experience.
Exactly. So it's a little bit of balance. Right, Brandon?
I mean, you have to be able to see both sides of the issue. I think that's the important part here. Sometimes the tax code needs to help poor people. Sometimes it needs to help rich people. In this case, I mean, when it starts helping poor people, that'll be great. So
there you go. I mean, so you're basically saying what this is an investment in potential future justice.
I mean, there's a concept in like psychology called moral balancing. It's like that, but at the social level. You have to balance out the immorality of helping the poor with the morality of helping rich people. So.
I didn't know there was a name for that concept, but I think I was mentioning the other day that when I quit law school, I was determined to also quit smoking to sort of balance those things out, and it took about 20 years, yeah. But I did it eventually.
I'm not going to quit smoking, but
right.
One day.
I understand. Well, maybe you should quit law school, and then they'll force you to. Okay. Folks, just a reminder, this program relies on your support. You can become a member by going to jointhemajority.com. Also, check out the AM Quickie. It is a great... What's that? Brendan said it's doing gangbusters, and he sort of did it half under his breath, so I couldn't understand what he was saying. But it is doing gangbusters, apparently. So check that out. We have it out the door by 8 a.m. unless there is some type of major technical screw-up. And it is a great way to sort of keep track of the news in a very brief amount of time. So I know you'll enjoy it. Check it out, amquickie.com. Just a little bit of house cleaning. We are going to be doing Super Tuesday live here, and we'll be covering it. We'll have we may even have a whiteboard. We're talking about having a whiteboard here, so that makes it pretty official when you have the whiteboard. So Brandon, let's the race as is what it is. We're going to talk to Dave Weigel in a bit in terms of like what's happening in South Carolina. There was a poll that came out today that shows Bernie up in Massachusetts on Super Tuesday. Incidentally, if you're in the Worcester area over the weekend, John Benjamin and I, two Worcester natives, are headed up there to. I guess we're going to do some type of show for canvassers. So if you're thinking about canvassing this weekend and you want to head to Worcester, Massachusetts, which is the heart of the Commonwealth, and has an incredibly the metro area there is enormous.
I went to a cool weed dispensary there last time I was there.
I didn't even realize that. I have not been to that, and I will probably